Coming up on 69 News at noon, the death toll from a devastating earthquake in Italy continues to climb as search crews dig through the rubble for a second day.
A farm manager on the Berks County border is facing animal cruelty charges.
Donations are being accepted to help a Berks County family after a deadly fire.
And a ribbon-cutting ceremony was just held to celebrate the opening of a new store in Allentown's neighborhood improvement zone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eve Russo.
And I'm Hasiel Cordova. 69 News at noon starts right now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News at noon, live from the PPL Center.
Search and rescue crews continue to dig through the rubble in central Italy, searching for any signs of life after yesterday's devastating earthquake.
But their efforts are being hindered by strong aftershocks that are threatening to bring down already damaged buildings. Correspondent Scott McLean has the latest.
More than 36 hours after the initial earthquake struck and less than a mile from its epicenter, they are still feeling aftershocks. The latest one here came about 2 hours ago, and people instinctively ran for open spaces, and for good reason. This is what's left of their town. Half of it has been absolutely flattened, and what is still standing is still in a very precarious position. We also know that many of the people who lived inside of these homes were also killed. Now, crews believe they've accounted for everyone, but in other towns they are still hoping to find survivors.
In central Italy, a desperate race against time. In the search for survivors, emergency crews and even bystanders are contending with rough terrain, limited access, and debris everywhere. Aftershocks, some nearly as large as the initial 6.2 magnitude quake, continue to rock the area. CNN's Barbie Nadeau had a close call reporting from the hard-hit village of Saletta.
Civil protection.
Most of the houses have collapsed, and the ones that haven't look precariously close. Since the earthquake struck, crews have been pulling bodies from the rubble. Today, they removed the one they believe will be the last. Those who got out are sleeping outside or in cars, unwilling and unable to go back inside.
I slept in the car tonight.
Others don't share the same fear. This man went back into his home to get his TV. His only protection was a bike helmet. In the devastated town of Amatrice, the clock tower stands frozen. Its hands stopped at 3:36 a.m., the moment the quake struck. Rescuers overjoyed Wednesday at the rescue of a little girl found alive in the rubble. First, they saw a tiny foot, then a leg. In the video, a man seems to be talking to the girl, begging her to live. Then rescuers hoist the little girl out of the rubble. One bystander crying out, "Beautiful girl," in Italian.
And we've got some brand new drone footage to share with you. This is of Amatrice, one of the hardest hit towns. You can see just how much has been absolutely flattened. Now, back here in Saletta, you can see the building that I had mentioned that came down during my colleague's live shot. It's right here, and you can see there's a big crack in the wall right beside the part that's fallen. And believe it or not, this home is actually in some of the better condition compared to some of the other ones we've seen, so you can imagine just the scale of the devastation and how big a cleanup it will be. In Saletta, Italy, I'm Scott McLean.
Well, humidity levels in our area are starting to go back up.
And it could lead to a chance for some storms later today. Let's check in with meteorologist Matt Broderick for a first look at what we can expect. Matt?
All right, guys, thank you. Yeah, definitely a little bit more humid, a little bit hotter. Temperatures will wrap up in the upper 80s this afternoon. And there's not going to be a ton of activity, but a little bit of spotty action is the way we'll put it. 80 in Reading, 81 in Pottstown, 82 in Allentown, 70 in Pottsville, 84 in Philly, and Toms River are leading the charge along with Trenton as well. Where are the dew points? Well, they've come up now. You'll notice middle and upper 60s, even some low 70s out there compared to, lower 60s yesterday. And then, of course, 50s and 40s at the beginning part of the week. So a much different story now with that southerly flow in place. You can see some of the shower activity. It's not much. There's no lightning, anything with these. But a little shower can sort of shake through the area here during the afternoon hours. It's going to be spotty, meaning not everybody will see something through the course of the afternoon or tonight. This is Camel Beach at Camelback. 83 at 1 o'clock, 86 at 3 and 5 p.m. We top out at 89 later today. Your 7-day forecast will preview the weekend. That's coming up in just a few more minutes. Eve, Hasiel, back over to you.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Reading man is behind bars on homicide charges in connection with the 2015 death of his girlfriend. Police say 48-year-old Robert Warbach admitted to his mother that he killed his girlfriend, Denise McAvoy. Investigators say her body was found in a home in the 400 block of Windsor Street back in December. At the scene, authorities say they also found 2 notes indicating a murder-suicide, a makeshift noose, and Warbach's last will and testament. McAvoy's death was ruled a homicide caused by blunt force trauma. Warbach is charged with 3rd-degree murder, homicide, and aggravated assault.
Police in Schuylkill County are investigating a single car crash. It happened around 11 last night on Route 309 in West Penn Township. That's where a van crashed into a utility pole, knocking the pole and some wires down. Traffic in the area was slowed while police investigated and cleared the scene. There's no word on a cause or if any injuries were reported.
Authorities in Monroe County are trying to determine whether human remains found on state game lands belong to a missing man. The skeletal remains were discovered Monday morning in a wooded area near 7 Mile Road in Coolball Township. Investigators say the remains could be that of 55-year-old Richard McLean, who disappeared in that area back in May. An anthropologist is scheduled to examine the remains this week. Well, the manager of a farm on the Berks County border is facing more than 24 charges of animal cruelty. Police say 49-year-old Clinton Holmes of Holmes Farms in Bartow neglected small animals on his farm. The charges come after an undercover video made by PETA. A pet store owner in Boyertown says he cut ties with Holmes Farm about a decade ago, but is still surprised to hear the allegations.
Not all pet stores or pet retailers or even pet wholesalers are like that. So hopefully everything gets worked out and it's not as bad as it seems.
If he is convicted, Holmes could face jail time and thousands of dollars in fines.
A Berks County community is coming together to help a family who escaped a devastating fire. Jared Kerr, his wife, and 2 young children were able to safely escape the flames. It broke out early Monday morning on Penn Avenue in Sinking Spring Township. Jared's sister, Brooke Mayone, was airlifted to the hospital. We're told she is stable but unresponsive. Brooke and Mara Bazan jumped out of a 3rd-story window to escape, but Bazan did not survive. GoFundMe pages have been set up to help cover funeral expenses and medical bills.
It's really hard, but you know, we do have a ton, like everybody's behind us, and it's just amazing. Like, I'm so grateful.
You can find information on how to help by going to our website, WFMZ.com.
Well, downtown Allentown is getting a new tenant, and it's a big boost for the area's walkability.
A new pharmacy opens its doors today in the neighborhood improvement zone, and WFMZ's Bo Coltnow is at the store or outside the store on 7th Street, right across from us. Bo, good afternoon.
Even Hasiel, it's a party here in downtown Allentown, but that music you hear has nothing to do with the grand opening that you just talked about. A new Rite Aid is open. It's on 7th and Linden Street, just over my shoulder there. Doors opened at 7 o'clock this morning. The ribbon cutting was at 11:30, and of course this fills the void of the Rite Aid that closed down about 4 years ago, a couple blocks away. Now for the city, this represents another business coming into downtown, into the Niz area, but for residents who live around here, this represents something more. It represents convenience. I spoke with one woman who said that she now no longer has to take 2 bus stops to get to Walmart to fill her prescription. She can now just walk down the street, as the Rite Aid is a full-service store. It has food, it has a pharmacy, it has a 7-day-a-week walk-in ready clinic. So now that this convenience niche is being filled, what about an urban grocery store? Now, I did speak with developer J.B. Riley this morning. He owns the building that this Rite Aid is located in. He told me that an urban grocery store is in his long-range plans, possibly at the building that he's going to build at 8th and Hamilton Street, but he says that's still several years away. However, he and everybody else who came to the store this morning is just happy that this convenience niche is being filled. So even Hasiel, I think I'm going to hang out here, listen to the music. I might go down to the Rite Rite Aid and grab something before the live shot at 5. But I will have more with this story tonight at 5. For now, live here in downtown Allentown, Bo Colt, now 69 News.
All right. Well, we welcome Bo and Rite Aid to the neighborhood.
And you definitely have options, Bo, while you're down
Yes.
here. And there's still more to come on the News at Noon.
Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf makes a move to improve charter schools across the state. More details coming up.
Plus, new teacher contracts were approved in one local district just in time for the start of the school year.
And officials in 9 states, including Pennsylvania, are discussing ways to combat drug addiction. Those stories and much more coming up next when the News at Noon continues. Stay with us.